Gentlemen, welcome
Okay.
everybody to the 2025 Kickstart Invitational podcast, where we dive into the soul of the Kickstart Invitational. I'm, of course, your host, Kyle Steffi, alongside Justin and Carter McPhail. In each episode, we'll be bringing you the latest developments, expert analysis, behind-the-scenes interviews, and exclusive insights of the Kickstart Invitational. First and foremost, Justin Carter, how are we doing tonight?
Doing well, Kyle. How about yourself?
Doing good. Another snowstorm here in TC, but we're rolling.
We got the lake effect snow warning here in Erie again.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're in it. As you guys can see, we do have another special guest. I don't know how many episodes we don't have a special guest, but of course, before we get to them, Carter, we have to pay the bills.
Yes, that we do, Kyle. This episode is proudly sponsored by Dunham Sports, your one-stop destination for all things sporting goods. Whether you're into hunting, fishing, or loving every day, Dunham's has everything you need to elevate your experience in the great outdoors. Get ready to step up your game with Dunham's exclusive offer. Use code Kickstart25 for an amazing 25% off on all golf gear and accessories. Exclusions may apply. Kyle?
Yeah. So, guest on the pod here. This guy is a one-time mountain climber, Grand Valley State University alumni, 6'4", has a black belt, as noted before. He once lived with a guy that went to jail. He is a fighting Irish fan and the fastest chugger east of the Mississippi. My former roommate, Liam King. Liam, how we doing?
Doing great. Just happy to be here.
Fantastic. Liam, first question we ask all of our first-time guests on the podcast, and honestly, probably our recurring guests as well. What does the Kickstart mean to you?
Yeah. So I think it's pretty special to me. This is the first golf trip I've ever been on, golfing for a handful of years now. I'd never had the chance to go on a golf trip with a group of guys, enjoy yourself, play some golf, drink some many beers. So I'm just excited to get out there and have a great weekend.
And a great weekend it is. What have you heard about the Kickstart so far? I know I've told you a bunch, but what's kind of stuck with you, and maybe what are you expecting, or what are you hoping for?
Yeah. So really what I've heard is, it's competitive, and it's a chance to go out there. It's fair game with the system you guys have and the handicaps and everything, tournament style. And I think that's just a lot of fun. As we're getting older, a lot of guys played sports, and it's just fun to get out there and compete. And of course, a game like golf, and like I said, drinking beers with the guys on the course on a beautiful Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, whatever days we're out there. That's what I've heard.
You think you have the ability to compete at a high level? What is your personal expectations here before we kind of hear from the scouts?
Yeah, so I think I have a good opportunity, and I say that because my handicap went up a little bit this year. But I think I'm better. I think I'm better than what my handicap reflects. And I think if I put some time in, next spring before we go on the trip, I think I can outperform my handicap. So I'm looking forward to it.
Carter, why don't you give us a little rundown on what scouts are saying about Mr. King here?
For sure. Liam is a Lake Fenton legend, one of the most versatile athletes to join the 2025 Kickstart Invitational. Liam's resume is packed. Varsity football, varsity basketball, currently a black belt, member of the Lake Fenton Middle School's historic 21-0 basketball team. Moved up and down from the A team, B team, was always doing whatever his role was. He excelled in it. Shared the court with some high profile names, Kyle Steffi, Parker Mitchell, and myself. He's been surrounded by greatness from the start. While his golf game might be unpredictable, Andrew Oak, our mid-Michigan scout, says he can deliver consistency with the right partner. I could see him as a potential member of a high dot duo, something that's been talked about in the last few years. We could see him in one of those. Let's not forget that Liam is a veteran bog rattler, making him one of the highest scouted chuggers in the draft. The Northern Indiana scout, Jess Smith, says Liam has the potential to be the next Carlisle Fraser Unsung Hero Award winner, giving Kyle a run for his money. He might not shoot the lights out, but he will certainly contribute to his team in a big way. There you have it.
Justin, you hear that report? I mean, obviously you're the lowest handicap in the team, one of the most experienced beer drinkers, that we have here. What do you think in hearing Liam's profile there?
Well, it sounds like he's definitely going to be a welcome addition to some teams. I don't know if that'll necessarily translate to on the course. We'll see. He feels like he's better than his handicap. I think most people probably think that they're better than their handicap. But we'll see. We'll see if he can take his sterling resume to the course and put it on display for everybody.
Yeah, and Justin, I know you have some stats for Liam here. Kind of run us through those.
Yeah, just taking a look at some raw data here. He's averaging 100.3, 2.8 pars per round. That's the big metric that we're looking for when you're talking about pairing him with a low handicapper. And then 10.8 doubles or worse per round. That's a little high for somebody of this handicap. We like to see those come down. Bogeys usually aren't that helpful. Bogeys in this game are generally net pars. Not going to win you a ton of holes. They're going to keep you in it maybe. But if you got 10 doubles, those are the ones where you're, dangerously out of the hole. That's what you don't want. If you're going to get paired with a high dot partner, you'd like to see more pars, bogeys, and a couple birdies here or there. But avoiding doubles and bigger numbers if you're going to get paired with a high dot player for sure.
On the flip side, the pace of play on a high dot round could be just speedy quick. You throw me and Liam on a hole, we both slice it out of bounds quick.
I was gonna say you might be
ending soon.
You're gonna play some holes in 35 seconds and some holes in 15 minutes.
Yeah, some holes are gonna take a long time. It does take a long time to hit it 100 times. I know that for sure. Takes a little bit longer than if you were hitting it 70, 75 times. But if you're in your pocket, I suppose you could get, be hitting some Mario Mushroom speed boost out there. Other times taking a little while. So
looking for your golf ball eats up a lot of time.
Yeah. Anytime you're looking, you're not hitting. I know that.
Unless you're in a group with Connor Fedoruk, then he's going to find your ball and 18 other golf balls. Lickety split.
Liam, you hear those numbers. I believe your handicap is at what, like a 20 or 21 right now?
I think so, yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong. This is the first time ever my handicap's been better than or lower than yours, I guess. I've always viewed you as a better golfer than I. What do you think when you hear these stats? Hearing that, what do you think of that?
Yeah. So I think I started last year like around a 18-ish handicap. Like you said, I think it's around 21, something up there. So gone up a couple strokes. Really it's just I gotta play more golf. It comes down to get out to the range, practice a little more, things like that. Get to a putting green. Putting, I mean, the short game's probably the worst part of my game. So I think that's what it comes down to. Last year definitely was probably the least amount of golf I played, and I think that played a factor. So
we know it's not your fault. Whose fault is it that you're playing less golf?
Put her on blast. Do it.
I'm not gonna name names. Yeah, it's just busy year. Yeah, let's say that.
I blame Luna. It's Luna's fault.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm also playing less golf for the same reason. Hand up.
Wading into dangerous waters here, okay?
Well, we all can't work at a golf course.
Before we get to our next segment, I'm gonna move us along here. We've got an ad read again, of course, for Alliance Beverage. We don't know if they know that they sponsor the course. They're a local beer distributor here in Traverse City. Alliance exists to help fulfill and enhance the quality of lives of their associates, customers, suppliers, and community. Alliance is here to support the Kickstart Invitational Draft, the event, and the pursuit of great golf and great friends. Thank you to Alliance. Thank you to Dan Henderson, Mike
We love
Roche.
Dan. We love
And
Dan.
Dan's boss.
Dan's
Yeah.
boss is boss, though.
Dan's boss, Mike Roche, great guy. Dan's boss's boss, bad guy.
Fuck that guy.
We don't fuck with that guy.
Carter, why don't you run us into our next segment here?
Yeah, Kyle, do you remember the score that Nate Nordstrom turned in for the rapid fire segment?
534.
No, 257.
257 is the season 2 low score for the rapid fire segment.
All-time record 159.
All-time record, sub 2 minutes. Liam, are you ready?
I guess.
I'm going to ask you. Well, damn bad. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Don't think, just answer them. Faster you can go, lower your time will be. And that's it. Are you ready? Kyle, do you have the clock ready?
Clock is ready.
All right. The clock will start when I finish reading the first question. Liam, which is a better time to play golf, spring or fall?
Ball.
What is your lowest ever 18-hole score?
91.
Where do you play your most golf?
Majestic.
What is the favorite course you've ever played?
Majestic.
What is your favorite course in Michigan?
We'll stick with Majestic.
Who is your favorite pro golfer?
Scotty.
If your wife was laying in a bed reading a book, what would you be doing in the chair right next to her?
I'd go to the room next door and turn on my PS5.
How often do you get to play golf?
Once a week.
Can you sing all of the words to the hit song Rattlin' Bog?
Yes.
What is your favorite part of the hit song Rattlin' Bog?
The last part, when everyone drinks.
What is your current relationship status?
Engaged.
What is your favorite part of your golf game?
Drinking.
Describe your ideal partner in 10 seconds.
Around a 20 handicap. Occasionally slice a drive. Occasionally duck hook a drive.
Who is your celebrity crush?
No comment.
What is your favorite alcoholic drink of choice?
Either a Michelob Ultra or a Captain and Coke. Depends on the day.
Could you please give us your best impression of an Australian person saying, "Oh no"?
Oh no.
What is your favorite bar in the Grand Rapids area?
What's the piano bar called? Mojo's. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah.
If Kyle were to throw up after doing the Rattling Bog, what would be your next move?
Throw up.
All right. What player do you most want to be partners with in 2025?
Justin.
If you were to be a captain of a team in the Kickstart, what would you name your team?
The Chundies.
In this upcoming season, if you were to pick right now, who do you believe will win, the Conductors or the challenging team?
Conductors.
Kyle, stop the clock.
234.
Ooh, we have a
New season 2 record.
New season record holder. Fastest lap. If we
The
were to make it
Chundies is
fair,
absurd.
if we would make the questions the same every time, same number of questions in the same order, it'd be a little bit more of a fair fight, but
Yeah.
we make the rules.
We do. This is true. This is true. Awesome. I love that segment. It's so much fun.
It is a good one.
So
Liam, hold on, Kyle, before we move on. We were
sure.
looking for something along the lines of "oh no" for the
Oh, yeah.
Australian accent.
I just drew a blank. Didn't really know how to do Australian. Don't really
You
hear
wanna
him
give it-
talk
you wanna-
much.
You want to give
I
it
don't
another
have-
go or no?
No, we're good.
All right,
I don't have an Australian accent.
Celebrity
either.
crush too. I couldn't. I put on the spot. I was trying to answer quick. I couldn't think of someone. So
I mean, I'm waiting for
Margot
someone to
Robbie
get on
said
and just pass every question to get the low speed. Pass the whole way down.
if I knew that was an option, I would have.
Yeah, well, if anyone's watched, that's coming on. There it is. Kyle, move us on.
It'd be horrible
what do we got next,
podcasting.
Kyle?
Yeah. Little game we got here. Little segment of overrated or underrated. I'm gonna bring up a golf related thing, item, verb, noun. You name it. It's related to golf. These three guys gonna have to rate it overrated or underrated. You only get one single properly rated use. So only one thing on this list can be properly rated. You can't change it later. Once you use it, you use it.
How many things are there, Kyle?
Yeah, there are 18 things on this list. We might use them all.
Okay.
We might use 5 of them. You just never know.
Okay, so okay.
Kind of depends on how this is going, really. If it's going poorly, then we'll probably cut it short, but we'll see. Any questions? We'll go in order based on what I'm seeing on my screen of who has to answer first, second, and third. So I got Justin, Liam, and then Carter. So Justin, I'm going to have you answer this first, then Liam, then Carter. If you guys want to give explanations, debates as we go along with this, that works out better. Overrated or underrated? The turn dog or the glizzy at the turn.
All right, I'm gonna give my answer. Let the other two give their answer, and then we can have some discussion.
Okay.
I like that.
The turn dog is overrated.
Liam?
Overrated.
Overrated.
Now, Carter, you said yours with a bit of conviction. Why is it overrated?
The reality is there's better options out there at high establishments. We've mentioned the I believe it's Hunter's Ridge barbecue stand. I mean, a hot dog's a hot dog. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But there's better options out there.
Yeah, for me, it comes down far more times when you get one, it's underwhelming. It doesn't perform up to your, the best one that you ever had. There's a few places that have a good one. If you can remember what those places are, you frequent those, then maybe you enjoy them. But for me, anytime I get one, it is, there was better options on the menu when I've gotten the turn dog and been disappointed.
Liam, is there a food item that wouldn't be overrated at the turn? Maybe underrated?
I think Carter hit it at Hunter's Ridge. They had that barbecue. I remember I had a burger there. Delicious. I mean,
Duck fat chips.
that's not underrated. Or, I mean, Majestic, they have decent food. It might take a half hour for you to get it. They got a good crispy chicken wrap. If you got the time, it's good. But
I
mean,
love to find people at
the hot dog ceiling is just so much. It's just so low. Like the best turn dog you've ever had
Isn't better than
how good is it really?
Crispy chicken wrap.
Yeah.
On to the next one, Kyle.
Yep, we're all on the same page. Liam, you'll be going first here. Drinking beer on the course. Overrated, underrated?
underrated.
Carter?
Overrated.
And Justin.
Overrated.
I knew this.
Overrated
I knew
for
this
sure.
was going to be here.
Mhm.
Somebody give me reasoning.
You got the transfusion. You got vodka Arnold Palmer. Some call it the John Daly. There's other options out there. beer can in the golf cart, oftentimes it if you don't drink it fast enough, gets warm and flat. There's other options if you're going to go for alcohol on the course. So I just the clear drawstring fake cooler bag full of ice and Michelobes. I mean, I could do without it.
That's what it comes down to for me. The way they get it to you is usually poor. It either fills up the back of your cart where you got your head cover and your jacket that you had on all wet, or they don't have enough ice in there, and your third or fourth beer ends up warm by the time you got to drink it. And I don't find that enjoyable as an experience compared to just having some beers after the round.
Liam, any input here as the opposer or not opposer anymore?
I mean, to Carter's point, I mean, hey, transfusion when you're starting, especially got an earlier tea time, it's a great way to start. I'll probably switch to beer after. I just think it's more convenient. I can keep drinking it all day. I'm not gonna, if I, I'm wanting to drink and I've got mixies, probably gonna get too drunk and the back nine's not gonna be very good. So beer's a better option. If it's getting warm, that's probably my fault. Not drinking it fast enough.
That's fair.
I'll side with Liam here in the sense that in one of the bigger reasons for me, because I don't often drink on the course anyways, but a bad shot into an immediate it hits you good. It's what you need sometimes. And if it's not Diet Coke, I want it to be a beer. So
sure.
Carter, overrated, underrated, the 7-iron.
I'm gonna go overrated.
Justin?
I'll go overrated as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go underrated. It's the best club in my bag. Most consistent. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, if you're talking about just completely taking it away, I could have used my properly rated on this, but I suppose, for the most part, everything I can do with a 7, I can do with a 6, I suppose. It's 7's not a punch out club for me or anything. It's rare that I have to hit one off the tee. So I don't know. Take it away, I suppose, if that's
my
the option.
name is not Tin Cup.
Yeah.
The 6, 7, 8. Those clubs are all the same. You hit them the same. Some of the guys on the trip, they all go the same distance for them.
Yeah, they potentially, the 7-iron and up have become obsolete. It's really about the 8-9 wedges.
There's other clubs that do more and honestly get less love.
I won't pitch in on all the things here. I will go ahead and say the 7 is criminally underrated. Maybe the best club in my bag for me. You need a little BNR bump and run off the rough there onto the green. You pull out that 7-iron.
Yeah.
You're 160 yards out, 7-iron. If you just need a good clean shot, you need a little confidence booster, you might be a little longer than the 160. Maybe you're 200, but you're hitting them like shit. You just want to see some good contact. 7-iron's going to do it. I think it's criminally underrated.
Respect.
A little bit of a complex one here, Jay. The new era golf shirts, all the colors and flash, in replacing the older professional clean looks. The new era golf shirts, are they overrated or underrated?
Like big prints, colorful patterns, that type of stuff.
Precisely.
Overrated.
Liam?
Overrated.
I'm going overrated as well.
Anybody feel strongly here, or are we leaving it there?
We could. I feel pretty strongly, but we can leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
say,
just say this.
biggest thing. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
So I feel like one thing factor is a lot of times going into the office in the summer, I just like to wear golf polo, some Lulu pants or something. I'm not gonna wear a golf polo when it's crazy colors and got all the different patterns on it. Just like a nice simple golf shirt looks nice. I'm a simple guy. I don't want to look crazy.
It's not that versatile. Yeah. But
Yeah.
my thing is a lot of times it's just not that high quality of a shirt. I think there's more higher quality brands that are pumping out more basic stuff. Um, we just got nicer. They're just nicer shirts. I find are more often the more basic ones. Some of those crazy patterns look like they got sold on TikTok shop, and the shirt feels like it too.
I mean, we've all seen the guy at the course with the shirt untucked past his booty cheeks, and it's got the most absurd pattern you'd ever seen. That guy's a hack. Now you see that guy he's just wearing the tiger red polo. He just looks like a weekend warrior.
He's also a hack, probably.
He's
Wear
also a
red
hack,
shirt
but he
and
doesn't
black
look like a
shorts
hack.
Well,
Those both felt unbelievably targeted, but that's neither here nor there.
I would say that my
proceed.
comment on the previous question was more targeted than that.
Previous question?
My previous description of my question about all of the middle irons going the same distance was more targeted.
Oh, I let that one slide. I wasn't gonna let this one slide. Liam, overrated, underrated. Bob Does Sports.
Underrated.
Justin.
Perfectly rated. I'm using mine here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm using my
Wow.
perfectly rated.
Yeah.
Overrated.
So I'd say the reason I'm going to say perfectly rated is he's hyped up a lot. People say he's the best golf content guy out there. My thing is there's a lot of guys, YouTubers out there now that I think are overrated. And I think Bob Does Sports is the one that's not. I think he's just extremely entertaining. His videos, stay engaged, enjoy them.
Yeah, I am right there with Liam. I think they're adequately rated. Mainly for the reason they don't take themselves too serious. They're very honest and forward with their skill level. Which it makes the content relatable. And yeah, it makes it fun to watch. Where some of these, I guess, more professional content creators kind of put on a little bit of a show.
Doesn't feel as genuine from some of the other guys. I will agree. You kind of feel like, how come there's already a divot next to where you're about to hit this shot from, type of thing.
And Bob Does Sports, you're seeing that practice swing.
You're seeing every shot, and I do respect it. I do. I think that type of content maybe isn't for me. But I think I also had high expectations from another area of their business that I don't think they quite lived up to, even though I think that it's something cool that they do, but I don't think that the execution was up to, I think, the ranking that they kind of have.
You referring to their podcast, their alcoholic beverage, or their clothing brand?
Their clothing brand, I guess you could throw in there as well. But I'm actually referring to the Kickstart first overall pick announcement that was put out last year.
I will agree. I was disappointed with the quality of the cameo provided.
Really?
I was underwhelmed by
underwhelmed.
Yes.
I'm shocked. When I heard conductors forever in your corner, I felt bad for Chase. Like, what is he supposed to say to his team after Bob Does Sports? Bobby Fairways goes conductors forever in your corner.
Well, when he stumbled over the words and didn't feel the need to, just redo the 55-second cameo.
Yeah, no
Mc-
retakes
Mc-
apparently was pretty literal.
I will side with Justin on that. That was underwhelming for Bobby Fairway specifically. Hopefully he doesn't see this.
Next.
I kind of hope he does, actually. The Masters. Carter, overrated or underrated? You're perfectly rated. It's gone.
Ah.
Underrated.
Justin?
He still has his in his pocket.
He does. He's thinking about using it.
I am thinking about using it. I'm gonna go underrated, but I'll have an explanation.
I'm gonna agree. Underrated.
So I think that it's underrated 11 months of the year. And I think that in April, when they play the tournament, it's actually overrated. The hype for it almost always it out hypes itself almost every single time. The lead up to it is so exciting. I think one of my favorite things to do is watch the pre-tournament press conferences with everybody. It's always a good topic of conversation that the live guys come back and play. You get to see them play live golf again without having to download the CW app. But the last few years, Scotty's run away with it a couple times. The weather's been really bad, so it's on. And then you're watching highlights from the previous year because they're in a rain delay and they don't finish, and guys are playing like 30 holes on Friday because they don't get done because they play too slow and it gets dark. The tournament doesn't. I'm talking myself into it's always overrated. Actually, the Masters is awesome. The 4 days leading up to it and the Sunday afternoon watching it is awesome, and the other 360 days of the year, it's just criminally overrated, I think.
Really
I went with underrated. And the reason is because I feel like for the month of April, it gets the hype, and the months leading up it does. But for the casual golf fan, the casual college student, when the Masters comes on, it makes everybody want to go and play golf. I had this discussion with my brother in the past. Whether or not he views a golf tournament as good, a professional golf tournament as a good tournament, is whether or not it makes you want to play golf. The Waste Management and the Masters are two that you can point to right away. When those come around and you see the commercials and the coverage for that, it makes people want to play golf. And for that's why I believe it's underrated. Plus, the cheese sandwich is still cheap after all these years.
Good for them.
I would never eat it, but good for them for standing on principle.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. But I'd say underrated. It's like you mentioned, it's time of the year. A couple months past football. Yeah, March Madness, but just wanting some more sports. April. It's been springtime. Getting excited for golf, to play golf. Thursday, Friday, working, just throwing on the Masters on the screen next to me. Love it.
I love the Masters. I would have gone underrated too. Where are we at? Justin now, I think.
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson. Overrated or underrated?
Overrated by a lot.
Overrated.
Underrated.
I needed one.
Phil Mickelson has single-handedly carried the left-handed golfer's torch for decades now, it seems. Obviously, he got into the hot seat a little bit with his decision to go to live and then being gone out of the spotlight for that reason. However, he is making a little bit of a resurgence. He has recently announced a YouTube golf series with Grant Horvat, 2v2 challenging other professionals and celebrities. And a big part of his, I guess, Live Team's YouTube channel that he is now spearheading is they are planning to donate a lot of the money to charity for things like hitting the ball in the bunker. Anytime he hits the ball in the bunker, he is donating $1,000 to charity. These are new aspects of his game that I think cause him to be underrated currently. Plus, one of the best wedge players to ever hit a wedge.
Yeah, Justin, why don't you explain why charity's overrated?
Yeah, it's it's very obvious to me that this is a tax. These are write-offs so that he can bring down his taxable income. He's taking money from the Saudi Arabian government to go overseas and quote unquote grow the game to a country that doesn't even allow their women to show their faces, let alone drive cars or own property. But certainly it's a country that needs golf, of course. If you can get past that, I think he's a guy similar to another famous large YouTube golfer, maybe that uses clubs that are all the same length, who thinks that he's smarter than he is. And then when he tries to explain things, you kind of find out maybe this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. So Phil's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, even before he went to live golf. But yeah, I think there's nobody that loves Phil more than Phil. And for that reason, I think he's overrated.
I'd put Chase Bierbauer up there. The guys that love Phil list.
Potentially.
Yeah, I think Justin nailed it. Live guy. I think part of it too is probably I remember him most for more of the tail end of his career, but I've just never really been a huge Phil guy.
Oftentimes I don't really know like the intricate details of what he's saying, but when he explains golf shots, I could listen to him all day. Just listen. I think just hearing somebody sound that smart talking about golf makes me think that I'm better. Just transformative property there. Liam, rangefinders. They replaced yardage books that you'd have to open and read the yardage as to where you were at on the course. They were replaced by rangefinders. Are rangefinders overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Run circle. Carter, Justin.
Underrated.
I had Justin in mind for this one.
They're
Actually,
overrated.
I got this on. They're overrated?
They're overrated. Yeah, I sort of wanted to use my properly rated here, but I'm gonna go overrated.
Justin, tell us why.
I think that if yardage books were more prevalent, or actually if the sprinkler heads in the fairways were more often accurate to the center of the green, I think average golfers would play better golf, just playing, finding that middle of the green yardage and then just hitting to that. So I think for the most part, rangefinders are detrimental to people's games because they just shoot the flag and then they try to hit it exactly that yardage, exactly at the flag. And, most times they ain't putting the flags in the safest, best spots for you to miss. A lot of times they're putting them by the bunkers and by the rough and by the water. And that's a bad place to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, and my answer is gonna be a little different than Justin and Carter's because it's for my skill level. Rangefinders are expensive. You want a nice rangefinder? What, $300?
Yeah.
18
Yeah.
birdies is free. Hey, it's not going to be exact, but it's going to get me within 5, maybe sometimes 10 yards. Most time, it's not going to matter. I don't need to spend $300 on a nice rangefinder. I've always wanted one, but I'm just not going to spend the money. It's unnecessary for me. So that's why it's overrated.
I don't know if I would be able to play golf without a rangefinder.
Are you using it only for the flag, or are you using it for other things?
I use it for the flag. I also use it for, I guess, like carry distances and environmental markers as well. I do also use the 18 birdies to get the front and back numbers as if it were a yardage book. And I like to know how far I'm going to be, how far I'm trying to hit the golf ball.
That's fair.
If I was playing in an event with a yardage book or a caddy that could give me the information that I need, I could see myself doing without it. But using the laser, and in my experience and the level of golf that I play, being able to use a rangefinder with slope, I think that it's something that I would rather go without my 7-iron and play with 13 clubs before I left my rangefinder at home.
I probably agree with you on that, but I do think that I'm gonna still stand by and say that they're still overrated.
I will say though, I love when I'm in the cart and guy I'm playing with has one and I can just use his. That is always nice.
Moving
Kyle's
on.
got one.
Kyle's got one. Parker's got one. Those two of the guys I play most golf with. So
There you go.
there I go.
That's all you need. Carter, overrated, underrated. Wearing a hat on the course.
Overrated. Get rid of
Overrated.
it. Don't need it.
Overrated.
Liam?
Underrated.
Wow. Liam's never heard of sunscreen. Defend your honor.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't remember the last time I played golf without a hat. I feel like I would feel weird out there without a hat on.
You would. They
So
look, they don't, they look cool. They do. But I think it's not a necessary piece of equipment. And I think maybe my favorite golfer of all time is Rory McIlroy while he's not wearing a hat. You put him in the Ryder Cup. Sometimes he doesn't put the hat on because he doesn't have any sponsor obligations, and he's just unbelievable. Look up the 2016 match against Patrick Reed. He loses the match, but hatless Rory is out there just fucking giving her.
I do. I'm a person who wears a hat every day. But since I've gone to, yes, as you can see here, going to the beginning of my college career when I decided to go with the short haircut, from then on, I've been more than willing to, it's starting to get hot on the golf course around hole 6, 7. I ain't got no problems putting that hat in the little glove box of the car and letting the wind and the breeze get in my hair.
Feels nice.
I like the sun out of my eyes. I think it's that simple for me.
They make glasses for that.
Yeah, I don't wear those either.
Well, these
Moving on.
ones don't have the cool shade ones that
Yeah, well, look harder.
Are we on to Justin now? Justin, dots / strokes. Overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
underrated.
Underrated.
Justin,
say-
defend your honor.
I say be a man. Play someone straight up. Find somebody you gotta find somebody you're close with and play them straight up. If that's what you want to do. Come out here with these dots. With these made up handicaps, probably made up rounds that you put in your made up handicap app. Come around here, play like a man.
It's targeted again. Carter, is there an argument to be made for a net strokes kickstart in the future? Getting off subject here a little bit.
A net strokes kickstart?
Or gross strokes? Just no handicap, just strokes.
Yeah, it's called the PGA Tour. You can get in it if you're good. The dots, if I had my perfectly rated, I would consider it here. And here's the reason why is your handicap. If both players are using their handicap, the match at that point is who can play closest to their best. It evens the playing field in theory. Theory is a great thing. It's not fact, however. Being a player who's, I would say, on the lower side as a better player, being a single digit handicap, I've played and become friends with a lot of guys in college hockey that have been getting into golf and are in that 15, 16 range. And yeah, they don't have as much fun going out there and getting shelled by me and getting beat by 20 as they do when we, lay down a net match play and they're like, oh man, you only got me by 1. Like, it's a lot more fun for guys to compete with their friends in a casual way because of the dots.
Mathematically, it can only be properly rated, but I just think you have a lot more fun if there's no dots. Like Nate was saying, he and Preston, they're close to a similar ability. They go out there and play no dots. I respect it.
I mean, Kyle's never going to play me straight up.
Someday he might. If he gets good.
Someday he might, but if we're going to play,
breaks his leg.
Good kid.
I mean, like Kyle's got some catching up to do, and I got some falling off a cliff to do to play an even straight up match when, we could fly to Florida tomorrow and play 4 rounds against each other with the dots and probably be a nail biter by day 3. Day 4, I'll probably start to pull away on them, but that's more of a stamina issue.
Kyle thrives in his 4th round. Everybody knows that. Next question, please.
Liam, the bump and run, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah, I think this is my first one, but I think this one is underrated.
Okay.
Should be used more often.
I'll quote Justin on this one. Be a man. Golf is fun when you get it in the hole in less strokes.
Yep.
There's no pictures on the scorecard.
# play better. Use a bump and run.
I think for this next question, Justin's going to say criminally underrated. Liam's going to say overrated. And Carter is going to say underrated. Walking the course / carrying your bag. Carter, we're starting with you. Am I right here?
Underrated.
Yeah, underrated by a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, way overrated. Way.
Liam, have you ever done it?
One time, and it was one of those rounds beginning of the year where they weren't letting cards out, and it was muddy, and I probably wasn't playing well because it was beginning of the year. I just didn't have a good time.
Do you have a stand bag?
Yeah.
Did you use a push cart?
No.
Seemed like a good push cart candidate. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll never know.
I guess not.
Never know. It's awesome. You get your steps in. I would argue that a lot of times it's faster. And honestly, it for a guy that kind of can fluctuate his mental state, walking to the golf ball kind of gives me time to cool down and prepare for the next shot. Where if I just, spray 1-2 fairways over and go pedal down and get there, I'm still upset because now I've got the cart way over here in the way of somebody else. Walking the course is just nice, especially you take your hat off, clip it on your bag. Don't need that either.
I'll say you get to talk to the guys you're playing with a lot more. When you're riding in a cart, you only get to talk to one of the guys, and then the other guys you pretty much only talk to as you're coming off the green or as you're on the tee. Maybe you're talking to them on the green, but there's a group behind you waiting in the fairway because you guys are up there chit chatting instead of putting. But it makes golf more social. It's good exercise. It's good cardiovascular workout. Get your heart pumping without getting your heart rate up too high. It's just a nice way to take in the sights and sounds.
Justin, what would you say to people who say, I can't put my beer cooler on the Shoelace Express? Where am I supposed to drink beer?
Get a push cart, man. They got push carts. They got push carts with coolers on them. That way you don't have to get that soggy bag with the rope in there that pours out all over your sweatshirt that you took off on hole 3. Plus you got your bag stuffed up with Miller Lights too full if you can't carry it. Okay. Or Bud Lights or Michelob Ultras. Just buy them from the course. All right. Don't be a scumbag. Okay.
Yeah,
They're
don't
all
break the
warm in your
law.
bag and they weigh too much. Okay. That's why the only people that ride carts are the people that are stuffing their bags with free beers. And that's only because they're paying an extra $30 for the cart when they could have just bought 5 beers from the course.
Moving on, Justin. Holes that are named after someone, named after something. Holes on a golf course that are just named something.
I'm going to go overrated.
Liam?
Overrated.
Underrated.
All right, Carter, defend your honor.
I like it. There's a lot of times playing golf with, in our generation, you get wrapped up a lot of the times in your own game. When you pull up on a tee box and you see, this course is called, or this hole is called, what's 18 at Pilgrim's called?
Entice.
You get a little feeling for what you're about to see. It's a conversation piece, and like we said with walking, it's just another layer that lets you take in and appreciate the course, instead of just kind of having your head down beating your ball around the course.
While I agree with you in that sense, sometimes I feel like more often than not, whoever designed the course or the manager of the course or whoever has named them in a way that doesn't give you all that much information about the hole that you're about to play. It just kind of feels like an inside joke that you're not a part of. The 18th at Pilgrims is great, but can anybody remember any names of any of the other holes? No, I don't think that you can. So it just feels like an inside joke that somebody else put on the scorecard for you to either think too much about what they're trying to say, or you're just never going to get anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, more times than not, you're going to reference the hole. Hey, that's hole 5 at Fenton Farms, not whatever weird name someone came up with for it.
Liam, is birdie juice overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Overrated.
I'm gonna say underrated.
Really?
Yeah, I
I'm
am.
shocked as to how this one went. Please do explain, Justin.
The only reason is, I would say for the most part, the people that are participating in Birdie Juice are either not ultra focused on their gross score, or they've already decided when they went out that they're out there just to have a good time, drink some beers, and have some fun. So, you know, either you don't make that many birdies, or like in Preston's case, who probably makes, 2 to 3 per round, he's gone out there and decided that he's going to have a good time. And if he makes 3 birdies on the front and gets a little tuned up, then he doesn't have any, then he doesn't get any on the back. So I think it's actually underrated. And if you're playing in carts, going back to another one, it gives good opportunity for the fellas to get back together and chit chat and have a nice time.
Liam, I thought for sure you and I aligning pretty much with everything in golf. I thought this was going to be one where you were with me on underrated.
No, I love Birdie Juice. Great time. It just depends on the round you're playing. If I don't care and I know, I'm gonna have 3 shots of Birdie Juice on the front 9 and also drink 3 or 4 beers, back nine's not gonna be very good. If I don't care, good time. Maybe I have a ride home after. I love the Birdie Juice, but more times than not. So I mean, I like to stay away from liquor on the golf course.
If I get a birdie, I'm jacked up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Carter.
But if I get a birdie, I want to get more birdies and have a good score. So liquor's not going to help that.
Carter. Overrated or underrated? Golf is for everybody. Anyone and everyone can play golf if they want to.
Underrated.
Overrated.
I'll say underrated.
All right, Justin. Why do you want other people to play?
So not. I'm gonna spin this around. Golf.
I feel like I'm gonna
is for everyone. Golf should get more diverse, more beginners, more people that look different into the game. I actually think that golf is not for the old angry, people that are playing up on you, complaining about you being too slow. Golf is not for the old heads anymore. Get them out of here. Let's open up some tee times for some people that are just getting into it. Let's make tee times 20 minutes apart. Give some people some room out there. Let some new people get into the game. The people that come into the clubhouse or call the ranger and say that, hey, these guys in front of us are playing loud music and playing too slow. Get them out of here. We don't need them anymore.
Liam, why do you think it's underrated?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who didn't start golfing till after high school, got into it, wasn't very good. Still not very good. I just, I think it's, a great way to, when you're done playing sports, things like that, something else to get into, challenge yourself. Obviously, it's a great time. Just, as long as the biggest thing is when people go out there and like just don't know anything about golf and like aren't respectful, I guess, just being dumb. That's when maybe I would disagree. But I mean, overall, I just think it's a great time and everyone should get into it, experience it.
The driving range is there. There's other ways to enjoy the game as a true beginner. I think a lot of maybe a lot of our listeners have tried to play golf with their significant others, as a way to, spend time with you and enjoy the game with you. However, things can be frustrating with beginner golfers, trying to play 18 holes. That being said, however, you have the driving range, you have, your Top Golfs, the new place popping up all over is the 5-iron, bar and simulator action. I think those things are great for the game and getting more players in, something that you can take a beginner to and they're going to enjoy it. But trying to go out there on a, busy Saturday with, 3 or 4 guys that can't swing and hit the ball every single time, that might not be for everybody. Jumping into the deep end too early, I would say, would almost push me to call it overrated. But I think there's plenty of options to get into the game and build your game from there before you go into the full action.
Before moving on, you mentioned golfing with your significant others, and granted, I haven't seen Laren or Lindsay or Aaliyah, a couple of the wives of the fellas on the trip, play golf. Liam's fiance Deli, I would take 1-1 if the girls were in. She can nuke it. She slugs that thing.
Yeah, she softball background. She can hit her driver, her woods hybrids. Those no touch on the putting green whatsoever. But if she gets a hold of hitting the driver and some of those longer clubs, she can hit it.
The most unbelievable shot I've ever seen on a golf course was playing with I was playing with a female at Miami at the end of the year. Smokes her driver, field hockey background, smokes her driver up there about 200 yards. Tops an iron, goes about 50 yards, gets up there, hits it in from 150. Walking back to the cart, I was like, Katie, you just made it. Sets her club in the bag and goes, woo, gets in the cart. I didn't talk for the next 2 holes. It was the most unbelievable thing I had ever seen.
In that same vein, Justin, overrated or underrated? The hole-in-one.
It's overrated.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
Underrated.
It's overrated.
Wow.
Liam, defend your honor.
But I just feel like every sport has one thing players are always trying to achieve. I don't know, compared to like baseball hitting for a cycle or things like that. I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of something in golf. You're always kind of wanting to get, besides your best score beating your score. It's a hole-in-one. It's a story you tell forever.
Here's my thing. So there's a couple things. First is it doesn't help your score all that much. Okay, it's the same as an eagle on any other hole. It's cool. Everybody thinks that their hole-in-one story is the best. It's not. I know how everybody's hole-in-one story starts and everybody's hole-in-one story ends. You teed it up and then it went in. That's it. Okay. The other thing about it is in all those other sports, like Liam, you can't walk out onto the field for the Tigers and hit for the cycle. But every person in the stands has an equal opportunity to make a hole-in-one. It doesn't reward skill at all. It just rewards it's a completely random event. It's like rolling 2 dice and getting snake eyes.
Jay, have you had a hole-in-one before?
Nope.
Okay. Is it Liam's up next now?
Whoa, I didn't get to defend my honor.
Oh, you were defending. You were on the winning side there.
I've had 6 shots where I've made it from the tee box. None of which I would consider hole-in-ones.
I have made a hole in one. I have also hit it in from the fairway from 80 yards. And honestly, that was more fun.
That's a lie.
The hole in one experience is awesome. It's great. Sweet. Once you do it, it's like Justin said, like it's just like every other shot. Like you just hit it, and like just to see the ball go in the hole, like yeah, it's cool, but like the hole in one story and the aura around it, like I don't know. I would rather go out and break par every round than hit a hole in one every round.
Chat, flame this man.
Yeah,
Liam.
well, you guys never done it, so you don't get a say.
Well, apparently it sucks to do. It's not very fun.
I'm not
I don't
saying
want to
it's
do it
It's
now.
fun, but you have 18 chances to do the same thing.
It sucks, apparently. I could argue there's 18 chances to hit it in the hole from the fairway. You only get like a couple per round to get a hole in one.
Yeah, well,
It's the
you know what
same
Chris
thing.
Bergeron
That's
would
what I'm
say.
saying.
Play better.
Liam, the movie Happy Gilmore, overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
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 All right, we're good there.
Greatest game I've ever played was a better movie.
They don't even follow the rules in Happy Gilmore. It's terrible. It's just
Good movie.
Chubbs is a great character, though.
Underrated character.
Yeah. Happy himself, underrated. The movie as a whole. Julie Bowen, underrated. Moving on.
It's gonna hurt.
The Conductors, Carter.
Oh, it's hard to say. Underrated.
Since we're nearing the end, I'm gonna go with underrated still.
No. Liam, do you know who the Conductors are?
Yeah, I'm gonna say overrated.
Defend your honor. You ready to play on the challenging team?
Yeah, I don't have a great reason. I recall, I was talking to Kyle about it one time as maybe it was like how the draft order was selected. Maybe it's just the past winner gets first pick every time or something.
That is correct.
I
great rule.
think that's gonna be like it's gotta be some sort of random
great.
or some sort something that determines the draft order. Yeah, I mean, especially if it's a different captain for the other team each year. I just think it should be different. Shouldn't be the defending champs every time to get first pick.
Liam, have you ever played pickup basketball?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you familiar? Are you familiar with the term "make it, take it"?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Carter, have you ever played or watched hockey, basketball, football, baseball, soccer? You ever?
None of those are ringing a bell for me personally.
I've heard of that. There's also 30 plus teams in all of those leagues, and they're trying to even out the teams to make the league more equitable.
Hey, I go and play open gym, pick up basketball every Sunday. I usually one of the person that drafts 2 big guys. You know how we determine draft order? Good old game of rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, that's how it's done.
People are wondering.
There's a reason that it is called the challenging captain. If you want first overall pick, play better.
Moving on.
That was the last one.
They're just flat out.
Damn
The
it.
Conductors win it.
Matt Eberflus over here, taking his timeouts home with him. Snack for the ride home.
Fire this man. Jay had Nothing that was properly rated. Everything on there was over or underrated.
Justin, where would you have liked to use it now that you didn't?
On the conductors.
I left it
They're
last on
properly rated.
purpose.
Listen, everyone wants to talk about, oh, the game's rigged. Oh, Carter gets first overall pick. Okay, well, we were down going into singles match in year 2. 7 holes left to play in
Yeah.
year 3. We're losing 5 out of 6 matches. And we flipped the board. The people want to talk about, oh, if I'm not on the conductors, I'm not going to win. There's a reason that the conductors just chug-a-lug-a-lug along and win the kickstart. And it's not because we have the highest payroll and we can pay, Soto $70 million a year.
You kind of do have the highest payroll.
We make negative money.
Kind of have the highest payroll.
The GM, owner, and captain makes negative money.
Has it been determined who the other captain is?
The hunt is still on.
No, so I guess we can just move on now. Yeah, I mean, we'll be digging into it more as we go. We're hoping to have our last new member join us here coming soon. We'll probably do some recaps of previous Kickstart invitationals. And then we'll be kind of digging into the 2025 Kickstart Invitational, looking ahead, talking drafts, talking captaincy, talking strategy, a little bit of everything. So we're still, we got a snowstorm out here right now in Traverse City. So it's hard to think about this coming Kickstart as of right now. But we'll be digging into it before everyone knows.
Usually the captain announcement comes sometime after the first of the year.
Typically.
Probably
the last 2 times it did anyway.
Probably around the time that we get some deposits.
That's actually, yeah, a good point.
That's the unspoken rule of captaincy.
I'd like to drop a hint about it at the end of this podcast here.
Liam, I appreciate you joining us, Carter and Justin. As always, it's a pleasure. But Liam, appreciate you joining us and hopping on and rambling with us for a little bit here.
Yeah, so appreciate you guys having me on. Like I said, I know it's a long ways away, but I can't wait. First golf trip. Excited to work on my game beforehand and just get out there and compete.
Liam, how many times per week would you say you think about the Kickstart unprovoked without the group chat or something like that? How many days or how many times?
I'd say 4 to 5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Rookie numbers. We got to get those numbers up.
Well, hey, like Kyle said, we're getting a winter, getting into the holiday season. I'm sure as we get the holidays and start thinking about it a little more.
Yeah, when your one aunt gets you that Michigan State little 3-pack of golf balls that you'll never use, you go, I ain't never going to use these, but damn, the Kickstart's coming up soon.
Exactly.
Appreciate you guys listening along. For those of you who made it this far in the podcast, we do appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Justin, why don't you give us a little sneak peek on what people can expect as to how we're going to select this year's captain?
Yeah, you can text us on the side about it, but the 4